Hello, everybody. This is Purge, bringing you a first-person gameplay replay commentary. That's right, replays. It is currently about 11:25 p.m. and I'm recording a video for the day of what is tomorrow? Like Saturday? Saturday. Okay, tomorrow's Saturday. So tomorrow they are doing a crap load of cast-in, so I am recording in anticipation for that. So this is a Pugna game. I haven't made a Pugna video in a very long time, and I played this I think 2 days ago, I believe. I was like, they have a Zeus. I'm gonna be a complete bastard, and I'm gonna pick Pugna. And the reason I did this is because of Nether Ward. Nether Ward is like the best spellcaster counter. Pugna has actually been buffed quite a few times recently, to the point where he actually feels pretty darn strong, honestly. There might be a point where he starts getting thrown into some lineups, but largely right now he's not being played because there are simply better solo mids. He is really squishy. His strength gain is pretty terrible. I believe he's one of the worst, but as a whole he's a fairly strong hero, honestly. And he does counter a lot of support heroes and a lot of high damage nukers. Counters Zeus very well, counters Visage, is not that great against Lifestealer, though he does counter him in the sense that you have Decrepify. So he's useful against a lot of common heroes, and we'll see how that all turns out. So, like I said, I have no integrity, so I picked Pugna. So that I could counter the Zeus and get a Pugna game in, because I haven't made a video in a very long time. So some of the things that have actually changed about Pugna recently is that his Nether Blast does a higher percentage of damage towards structures. I think it used to only do 33% towards structure, now it does half. So that means at level 4 it does a total of 160 damage to a tower, which is a huge nuke. A really huge nuke. An average auto attack does like 15 damage or 20 damage or something like that, something really small. So Nether Blast is really good at pushing towers now. Still always is very good at clearing creep waves as well. Pugna, I believe, has the highest int gain in the entire game. Yeah, he gets 4 intelligence per level. His strength gain is 1.2 and his agility gain is 1, which is horrible. But his int gain is amazing. Is actually really amazing. So this means you have a huge mana pool, and it allows you to spam a lot of Nether Blast, which is on a fairly low cooldown at 5.5 seconds. So you can quite easily nuke creep waves, farm fast as an int hero, and get some major items up, and you're gonna have a huge mana pool to do that with. So I'm playing a mid Pugna this game. Again, the benefit of this int gain is I get 4 extra damage every time I level up, which means that I should be pretty comparable to a lot of other strong mid heroes at a certain point. His base movement speed is also very good at 320. So downsides are that he doesn't have a hard disable and he's squishy. So those are the main things you got to worry about when playing Pugna, is that you have to actually play him quite safe. And this is something that I ended up having to adjust to while I played this game. We'll see this later. So yeah, going for a mid-roll, his animation is really good. He has pretty good attack range. He has 600 attack range. His base damage is not bad. And yeah, that's about it. His armor is actually quite low, though, at 1, so that can be an issue, a bit of an issue here. So I guess we're going to have a pause immediately. Let's talk about some of his other skills. His first skill, Nether Blast, I talked about that briefly. It does a big AoE nuke. It's a large AoE. It's about this big, and it's a very low cooldown of 5.5 seconds. It's a slight delay. Nature's Prophet is legitimately in our base. Okay. I remember. Okay, this makes some sense here. He waited a long time for this. He waited a really long time for this. I honestly am a little surprised that he's even there right now, honestly. Wow. Okay. Okay, Nether Blast does a big AoE. It has a blast delay of 0.9 seconds. It has a 5.5 second cooldown. His second skill is Decrepify. This is the same as an Ethereal Blade, essentially. It casts a slow. It makes someone banished so that they take bonus magic damage. They can't be attacked by physical attacks. They get slowed and they take bonus magic damage. So generally the combo is you cast Decrep to turn somebody green, and then you also cast Nether Blast on them. So the Nether Blast damage is accelerated, essentially. This is also really useful if an opponent like a Lifestealer opens up on one of your supports have no way to get away, and you can just Decrep your supports, because then your supports are basically have a Ghost Scepter for at least 2 seconds here, depending on your level, and then they won't be taking any physical damage either. So Decrep is very useful for allies. As you scale this up, the cooldown goes down and the duration also goes up. So this is pretty good. If I get jumped on, I can make myself invulnerable to Nyx, basically. The downside is that if I decrep one of my allies and then Zeus shows up, then he's going to blow them up for a lot more damage. So you have to be very choosy when you use this ability. And also, there's often a lot of trouble in the late game where people end up using it largely just to give yourself more nuke damage, but then your physical damage dealing heroes end up not being able to attack. So for example, if I like decrep and blast a guy and then Juggernaut goes to right click him, then it's going to hurt our overall damage output. So you have to be really careful about that. He was actually in our base. I'm really confused. I don't know why it showed him up here. Maybe he was considering teleporting and then changed his mind. Maybe he teleported there as soon as the game started, is maybe what I think happened. I don't actually know if there's a ward up there. I really want to go check this. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure he bought a ward, he TP'd to our base as the game started, and then he put an observer ward down so that he could scout out the courier, and then he just teleported to the top lane. I'm not 100% on this, because I don't know if he's going to be able to get back in time, actually. Like, if the courier would have left already, he maybe wouldn't have TP. And I should have bought my bottle already. I do have 600 gold. I just took an abnormal amount of time this game to buy my bottle. So, I put the Nether Ward down because I knew that if he casted any Chain Lightning, it was going to do 65 damage to him. I didn't explain Nether Ward yet, but basically it makes a big aura at 1600 radius. And any time that your opponents cast a spell, what it ends up doing is it does a nuke towards them. So I'm going to nuke here to do a big AoE. It actually does a pretty good amount of damage to the Zeus. And then I have the courier come out. Yeah, the reason that I waited for the courier to come out like this is because I wanted to get a bottle and a magic stick, apparently. Because I knew the magic stick is very useful against a Zeus, because he's going to cast Chain Lightning a lot, so I knew this would give me more mana. And here you go, Prophet's going to be TPing to the high ground. I was waiting for the courier to come. There maybe should have been a flying courier at this point, but I didn't ask. I was actually winning this lane quite handily here, and this is going to hurt a lot, because first of all, they all get gold, and I also lose the 800 gold that I've been working towards. But luckily, it's a semi one-sided matchup. I was pretty drastically outlaning this guy. At this point, I was like, oh crap, my bottle is gone. That sucks. So we go back to last hitting. I also have 2 tangles left over, so this will put me in an okay spot later. And also tree armor makes a really big difference, so the benefits of this game. So 3 minutes without bottle is a pretty big loss there. It was a nice snipe from the Prophet. He obviously was paying attention to that. I'm pretty sure he did end up TPing to our base and dropping a ward though, so you could see the item coming. So Nether Ward goes down. The range is pretty large. This also gives a mana degen, by the way. So this means that he will lose mana over time as he stands there. I didn't actually know where he went with the rune, but he apparently had an invisibility. Luckily, I'm reflecting some damage here as they get hit. But I'm going to end up surviving pretty close. Do have a charge coming on in mid. Don't think we're going to be able to get this kill, though. Yeah, we are definitely not going to. And more living armor is going to be wonderful. So the Nether Ward kind of protects me from him, if he feels like going aggressive on me, just for harass. Because it means that any time that he throws a nuke at me, he's going to take, maybe not a comparable amount of damage, but he'll take quite a bit. The damage multiplier levels up as you get more levels, but right now I've only got a level 1. This used to change radius based on the levels, but it was buffed to do consistent radius, but just scale in terms of damage multiplier and mana degen. So these are the differences between it, but he is definitely getting some mana degen right now, and it's also going to cause him to take damage if he ever feels like arc lightning. I don't know what the exact term is. But 14 CS with 8 denies at this point is okay. He's actually beating me by quite a few, but I do have him beating denies, so not too bad for him though by any means. Blast also does catch catapults. So I was a little worried about eating a lightning bolt, so I dropped the ward down again.
First blood. As indeed, I am first in everything.
Almost level 6 here, and I'm going to buy a wand as well as boots, because I know the courier is going to respawn eventually. His ultimate, that I haven't explained yet, is Life Drain. It's kind of like Mana Drain online, except it does HP. This has recently been buffed to have a really long delatch range. It's like a 600 range initiation, but now it delatches at about 900, so it takes a lot longer for people to go outside of range, which means you have a better chance of getting a kill with it, basically. At this point, with 2 levels of blast, I can pretty easily CS with it, as you guys can see. And just doing this sometimes is really nice, especially when the courier is going to respawn and I like drastically need to get my items to me. Courier is now flying, it looks like. Has been quite a bit of a setback there. I really should have sent the items to me during this whole time. I was definitely not prioritizing that. I'm sure I would have. If I didn't have tree armor, this lane would have been completely different. Or if it was a lot more even. The lane matchup was not very even because I had a big range advantage over him. So.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And it looks like I just decided to let the courier go all the way back, I guess. I maybe should have transferred things first. Or I should just like hurried and actually had things go immediately upon the courier respawn, but I'm a little late here, so I'll just go shift. Yeah, there's the ward right there. So he did place a ward. So I'm gonna buy a TP scroll. I can actually... might want a TP down there to stop that push. The push is actually pretty frustrating. I grabbed a second level of Nether Ward right now just because the effects get a bit stronger here. Maxing this out pretty early is actually really useful. And also life drain isn't always that effective either is the important thing to point out. I wanted to pick up these range creeps here, so I did. Fortunately for me, Zeus blew me up really fast here. I felt pretty safe, but unfortunately for me, they ended up diving. The main thing that blew me up heavily was, I think, Zeus. It looks like Zeus might have backed off after that, because I'm sure he took a lot of damage from the... In fact, Chen almost died here, due to my Nether Ward, but they ended up surviving, and they're going to be able to take a second tower on the bot lane, so not very good for us. We didn't really see their positioning, because it was nighttime, so they were able to initiate on us, and we ended up paying for it pretty hard, so... Not too good of a situation for me, but whatever. I still have decent CS, I'm matching the Zeus. And now they're pushing mid, so I'm going to go try to defend mid. Again, picking up level 7 will give me more blast. I want to get my Nether Ward maxed out pretty early. I might delay my my life drain. Life drain is not very good against some heroes that have stuns usually. I could pick it up against some of the heroes that we're working with, but largely it's better against like DPS heroes who have like meager damage output in the early game. I tried to put my Nether Ward here in a place where it would be able to catch everybody and they wouldn't be able to easily kill it, unlike the last Nether Ward I placed. But I think it ended up not being quite close enough, so I think maybe even placing it there was not the right choice.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
There's a couple of heroes that Nether Ward ends up being really useful against, and it's heroes like Zeus or Queen of Pain. Jakiro has really expensive mana spells as well. Visage does as well. Every time he casts Soul Assumption, it's going to do like a 200 damage nuke to him. And it's not really damage you expect that much, so it's very deceitful. Like, you don't expect to get blown up so hard from Nether Ward, but it really is a nasty damage spell. So a lot of heroes are being spotted mid. I find some creeps here. Should be able to work some of them down a bit. I wanted to kill any of these if possible because it is some free EXP here. Cast a blast here and then hopefully be able to take out the centaur. He does get denied by the Ursa. Smart choice there. And again, I'm preparing to push. I hide the ward in the trees here, and I'm going to blast the creep wave.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The illusion goes around to look for the ward. I hit it in the trees, so it's going to be fine, and try to defend this here. So far, Nether Ward's doing pretty good damage, but all these creeps here are kind of putting everything in a bad spot. And I was completely out of position once again, and they're going to be able to take the tower, so... I let the Ursa creep get around me, number one, and also Lifestealer again is a big issue for me. I have a lot of trouble dealing with them, at least right now. My HP is still very low, so if they do a lightning bolt or something like that, it puts me in a really bad spot. And like having a skill like Life Drain, of course, wouldn't have done anything for me to survive there. I mean, of course, I can Life Drain somebody, but they have a lot of burst damage right now, so my biggest goal is just to get my Nether Ward maxed out so that I can reflect as much damage as possible during a team fight. Because it essentially is a team fight skill. This is honestly one of the best skills that's just based on the hero, kind of like Tombstone. It'd be kind of fun to do like a Tombstone and Nether Ward combo on a hero, just like drop a bunch of things and like watch them kill people. That'd be kind of fun. So I ended up picking up Treads this game. I don't always recommend going Treads on Pugna, but the reason that I think in this case it's very good to pick it up. Number one, your damage is really high because your int gain is so good, and so it's really good to get attack speed. And number two, most importantly, is his HP is really low. So being able to sit on strength treads can be really helpful to the hero. So I like treads on a lot of mid heroes. You can also tread switch while you bottle. That also helps a lot. But this game I'm definitely prioritizing quite a bit on just trying to be as useful as possible. I've actually died twice now, so I'm quite a bit behind. But see if I can get here to help the Spirit Breaker. I can drop the Nether Ward if he ends up diving at all, and I'll put the ward down and he's going to end up backing off after that one. I think he actually had a regen as well, so No point of me pursuing any farther than that. I'll just blast this up. And the really nice thing about Nether Blast is that you actually can blow up range creeps in one hit without actually having to hit them. So I gave Spirit Breaker my bottle temporarily so that he gets some mana regen so he doesn't have to go all the way back to base. It's going to cost me a bit, but it's for the good of the team here. Does the duration go up when you... Or is it the same? It's the same at all levels. I can't remember if duration used to scale. I seem to remember like level 1 Nether Ward was pretty crappy in the past. Don't quite recall, but... So for now I'm just going to jungle a bit. The mid lane isn't really very safe at the moment, so... And again, you do so much damage in right clicks, and you can do so much AoE that it's actually pretty fast to be able to just hop into the jungle and take out camps. He's definitely one of the fastest farmers as a result. You might think a hero like Queen of Pain is solid, but this is a 5.5 second cooldown. You have a huge int pool, so you can easily spam this on neutral creeps and sometimes miss ogres. But regardless, they still get the XP, so not the worst thing. Core items, especially in this game, is going to be a Force Staff. I think Force Staff is really important against Lifestealer. The slow from Visage is pretty scary as well. So they have disables that are pretty annoying. But generally, when you place Nether Ward, by the way, you should hide it in the trees. So this is a pretty good place to put it as well. It's somewhere that's not going to be able to be spotted by them unless they have Visage Birds, and then it's going to get killed right away, and that sucks. So that's going to happen. So my Nether Ward's going to die immediately, and from here on out, I was like, oh great, they have Visage. They have a really easy way to counter my Nether Ward. So now I need to pretty much adjust based on that. So, got an aggressive TP coming in here. Trying pretty hard to be useful. Pretty good blast. Fortunately, my Nether Ward's just coming up right now. There's another ward. Another ward's killed again. I was able to decrep him to keep him alive for a bit, but that was a bit of a whiff. Don't know why I casted it over there. Okay, good. We were able to kill. Unfortunately, I clicked on one of the Forge Spirits, not the flying creep. So pretty fun fight there. Getting the Nether Ward down is such a big deal, and trying to keep it alive is another really difficult thing to do. In some of these early fights, we really just don't have the right click to be able to just kill those immediately, so it's quite easy for them to kill the Nether Ward. And if they do that, Visage has honestly accomplished his job. It made my hero a little more than just a casual nuker. And my nukes are good and all, and they're low cooldown, but like you need... I put 4 skill points in that damn skill. I would hope it does something in a team fight more than just a little bit. Like, if I drop that before Zeus does his combo and he doesn't realize, he's going to do himself, like, at least, like, 700 damage in a nuke. That's like a free finger of death on one hero. And if more people cast on top of that, it really increases your damage potential. So, again, I am feeling really squishy, so I decided to go for a mech this game. Pugna is one of the few heroes you can get away with not getting Arcane Boots on because of the fact that his int gain is so high. Like, if you look at my hero right now, I have no plus int items or mana items except for like the casual stats from these 3, and I have a 900 mana pool. It's like ridiculous. You really don't need to get arcanes on this hero. The only circumstance that I would ever get arcanes on Pugna is if I'm in a push lineup and I'm trying to push really, really early, like extremely early. That's the only circumstance where I would get an item like that so early. I've got a Lifestealer coming. This is really terrifying, but luckily I was able to stay far away.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So I'm gonna be okay here. If he does feel like diving, I can always decrep myself, so I was pretty worried there, but was not like absolutely terrified or anything. Able to pick off an Ursa and hopefully hoping for bats, but they did end up getting resummoned, so. Grabbed another level, or my first level of Life Drain. I can use this to focus people now. I can decrep Blast with a Life Drain, do some pretty good damage there. And I want to keep the Buckler on me and my allies.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
We've only taken 1 tower so far, so we're a bit behind in terms of gold, but if we can look at... We're moderately far behind here, 4,000 gold. EXP we're actually ahead. I'm not completely sure why. Probably because the Radiant team has spent a lot more time pushing, and we've spent more time spread out and farming. EXP, of course, is split in general areas, so this means that even if they have... if they've been pushing a lot, there's probably creeps somewhere on the map dying that they could have had somebody around for EXP. So if we're all spread out and farming, we're going to get a slight EXP lead. And hopefully for us, we can translate this into a team fight advantage. We have won 1 fight. I think we won the last fight. That's probably another reason why our EXP is better. Fight was looking pretty even. Looks like we traded about 4 for 4 here. And then they killed Treant Protector, but... Oh, I'm sorry, that was gold. So yeah, with every kill, looks like we jumped down quite a bit. So I just want to farm towards mech as fast as possible because that 250 HP heal is going to help a lot, especially against a hero like Zeus. Might as well just blast that to get rid of it, and then creeps will respawn shortly. We can keep the farm up. Got a jug with almost drum. Those are bats. So I think I said Force Staff was going to be really important. Mech's a really good choice other than that. I'm pretty sure I got a Force Staff after the mech. I'm quite certain of this. Look how fast you can kill this camp, man. It just costs you 2 Nether Blasts, which is like 300 mana. Plus I had a bottle, so... can leverage this pretty easy. About 200 gold away from mech now. I don't like my choice to go back to base right now. I feel like this is a waste of my time. I could have stayed in the jungle and continued farming, or I could have gone mid. Either of those would have been good choices. Running back to base right now is... I don't know why I did this. Maybe because sometimes I'm just kind of like, I want to refill my bottle. Let's go refill my bottle. But choices like that honestly do decrease your farm rate. I could have gotten 3 CS mid there, and then maybe waited for another creep wave and taken it. Little did I know they're waiting to gank the mid lane, so I just lucked out and didn't end up dying. But... I don't know, who knows. Did I know that was going to happen? No, I did not. So we got a Zeus mid, there's a creep wave. I see some creeps here. I'm going to now take some CS mid. I pretty much lucked out by making a stupid decision. I don't deserve to be alive. I should have died. I honestly should have died there. DD helps a lot. I kind of wish that I could have been here. Don't think I was able to get the Chen. I really wanted to kill one of those creeps, if possible. At this point, it was quite clear that all of our dudes were dead. So I'm just going to pick up my mech. I'm going to drop a Nether Ward down here in case anybody ends up casting more. It's a good place to hide the ward, at least temporarily. They did eat some mana degen while they walked past. Not that much. They probably lost less than 25 mana, but just in case anything hit the fan, that was there to do damage. So 2 life drains now. Aghanim's Pugna is actually pretty good against some carries in the early game because they won't be able to kill you. Spiritbreaker is not a bad hero against that because he does bashes. Stuns are no good, but it's pretty fun. The Aghanim's increases your mana drain and it puts the ability at a 0-second cooldown, which means that basically if it ever gets interrupted, you can just recast it. It's pretty fun. And I decided now to put the Nether Ward pretty far back. This is probably a little too far. I think I should have maybe placed it about here. Most importantly, I needed to kill the bats if possible. And it looks like we're fighting. But yeah, the Nether Ward is a bit out of place now.
Unstoppable.
But we're able to kill a lot of the creeps. A blast on some heroes. There's actually a lot of things for the bats to kill, but they're going to end up dying here. I think I decrept the Zeus there, which is a bit of a mistake. Prevented less right clicks on him. I think I did a decrep blast maybe. I don't remember exactly. I don't remember if he got ulted or not by the Spiritbreaker, but we got 3 kills for nothing, so it was a pretty easy team fight for us. I didn't even have to pop the mech. Let's get ulti from Tree to keep him in place, and then we can get all the nukes off the heroes that we want to. Like, look how much damage that did. Wasn't that ridiculous?
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Actually, already has a ghost scepter here. Fortunately, I don't have any mana left over, and the Nether Ward wasn't up by the time the team fight started, so we're gonna lose at least 2 heroes here. And looks like Invoker as well. So 3 heroes and a buyback. Not very good for us. I will be not stacking this. Thought I was gonna stack it. Then I decided against stacking. And my mistake here is that we lost a bunch of heroes. I decided not to back immediately. I went to farm the jungle, and they immediately turned this into a mid push. So I should have gone back to heal most likely because I should have anticipated a push. And now I'm going to be really late to the mid lane, which means that there's a pretty good chance we'll just lose our tower without me being there on time. And tower goes down.
Dire's
Looks like
middle
somebody's
tower
getting caught,
has
maybe.
fallen.
But he'll be okay. They sent back Visage. We probably should initiate if possible at this point. Man, my movement speed's so good with Spirit Breaker here. Both Spirit Breaker ulti and the Jug ulti will interrupt TPs. They do mini stuns. Spirit Breaker ulti obviously much more than a mini stun. But I love the sound when the healing ward dies now. I love it so much. It's so good. It sounds so cool. Maxing out Decrep here. It's gonna be my next task. Getting the duration up is actually pretty useful. It'll get about to the same duration as a Ghost Scepter. And it looks like we're gonna be able to snipe this pretty quick. They were on the way, but our damage is solid enough where they're not gonna be able to get us. So we get Aegis on Jug. See how the numbers are reflected in this. The XP is pretty flat. Gold did jump down, but then we died a bunch, so it went back up to their advantage. And I'm again getting pretty close to 4 staff. Positioning will be nice. Make sure that you do this when you're attacking neutral creeps as a ranged squishy. You can't really sustain the damage, or at least you don't want to, so never go in melee range and just right click them. You always want to stay at max attack range if possible. Looks like there's some heroes in the jungle.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So I can decrep here and then TP out. Don't really know why the Zeus ultied. Maybe they wanted to see where all the other heroes on my team were, but they accomplished very little with that. In fact, wasted the Zeus ulti.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So Tree is a little out of position. He ends up going down very easily. Now it's going to be really hard to defend our tier 2 because they have a huge push here. They are very ready to fight. So we're going to lose our last outer tower.
Top tower has fallen.
So at this point we just have to try to fight in base. If you fight on flat ground, they're going to have a slight advantage. So whenever you're really behind like this, make sure you always force them to fight uphill. And I'm going to continuously blast the creep wave as well. Want to make sure that it has as little HP as possible. I'll drop the ward down here. I can decrep the ward if needed, but it looks like the bats were actually out of damage. So they'll try to go high ground, and they're not going to be able to. And we should be able to kill the bats here. And yeah, I'm able to get the second bat. So bats are dead for a bit. Probably getting charged down here. And there we go. So I got 4 staff. So whoever gets initiated on by lifestealing now, I'll just 4 staff myself or them to escape. Should be pretty easy. But basically, as I played this game, I decided the best place for Nether Ward, if they have a neutral that has some burst damage like that, is most likely. I'm just going to mana drain our HP leak. What's the word? Life drain. I'm going to life drain it because I want to make sure that it ends up dying. But what was I saying about something else? He's gonna TP on out. What was I talking about? Gotta kill those neutrals though. It's free gold. It forces Chen to go back in the jungle and spend some time there. I don't know why he was down there. That's a really weird place to be. I don't know if he's just trying to aggressively ward or something. Quite unusual. Alright, items after this. Ghost Scepter wouldn't be too horrible because then I could decrep somebody else and then Ghost Scepter myself. That'd be kind of fun. I could go Aghanims. Shiva's Guard is pretty good because it makes him a lot more survivable individually. Sheepstick is usually the best choice though. The reason Sheepstick is so good on Pugna is because his farm rate's really good, so you can actually farm it really fast. It gives you more int, but most importantly it gives you percentage-based mana regen, and that's something that Pugna actually really needs a lot of. The reason I don't like buying Arcanes on him usually is because his mana pool is already so huge. My creeps were stolen by Prophet ulti, so obviously it'll ward on the high ground there. But the reason I don't like buying arcane boots is because they restore such a low percentage of your mana pool with every use. A hero like Earthshaker or Tidehunter really needs arcane boots, but Pugna does not really. If you get a percent-based mana regen item, it's going to be filled a lot faster. It's like having a bloodstone, basically, as soon as you get like a sheep or a Yule Scepter or something like that. Yule Scepter is not completely something I would recommend this game. I would maybe get a Yule's on Pugna if it was versus a Spirit Breaker, perhaps. But other than that, I think getting cheap's a lot better, just because it does give you a reliable disable as well. It's another reason that it's very useful. And also, it's quite good against a lifestealer. It like guarantees you that you can do some damage, basically. So, Ward is now killed. Will not be sniped by Prophet anymore.
Double damage.
So sheep would be the next item. I seem to remember this is the part of the game where we just ended up farming a lot, so be prepared to watch me right-click neutral creeps. I didn't really want to farm that much in lanes, mainly because I'm not as survivable as a lot of the other heroes, like Invoker or Juggernaut, for example. They have a lot better ways to escape than not die. Dagon is showing in the recommended items for Pugna. I'm not a huge fan of this. You can do a Dagon or Decrep Dagon Blast combo, which is pretty darn good nuke with a life drain. But this does make you pretty mana burst reliant, which is pretty much the case any time that anybody gets a Dagon. You kind of have this like one-shot combo, and once you use it, you need to go back to Fountain because so much mana's gone. It's kind of like playing Skywrath Mage, basically. It limits you a lot, I think. But it's kind of a fun build if you guys ever want to screw around in pubs. The Dagon Rush is kind of cool. It's not something I really recommend. I think Mech is a much better build. Mech and survivability items. With most Dota heroes, you really do want to fill in your gaps, though, and survivability is definitely a bit where Pugna's lacking. So he also doesn't have very much utility either, so I like grabbing survivability and utility items. If you don't know what I mean by utility, I mean things like Force Staff, Disables, like Heaven's Halberd. Not that I would get that in Pugna, but like Heaven's Halberd, Yules, Sheep, things like that. It's good to have utility. A lot of utility is really useful, and this is in fact why I get Force Staff on pretty much every support hero that I play now. Like almost every support hero I play, especially like basic supports, like nothing weird like Earthshaker, I almost always go Boots, and I get a wand, complete the wand, and then I buy an urn, and then if I need a boots upgrade, I get an arcane boots, or sometimes I get arcane before the urn or the wand, depending on how the game's going. And then from there, I find a random lifesteal in the jungle, and things look really scary. So I'm gonna Force Staff away and Tread Switch. I'm gonna bottle up a bit here. Decrep. He actually does blow the ulti on me, surprisingly, and I pop my mech. The stun actually landed for quite a while there. I don't think I would have survived that if I wanded, but I was anticipating wanded. That's pretty funny. I think Jug got a really unlucky ulti there. What did Zeus keep? Oh, he TP'd, that's why he took extra damage. Well, that blast actually helped out quite a bit, putting Zeus up there. It's quite convenient for us. Looked like the Jug Omni Slash did not work out very well, though. Oh, I think he Ghost Sceptered, maybe Zeus? Did Zeus? Yeah, I think Zeus ended up Ghost Sceptering, maybe, and then he Omni Slashed the neutrals and killed both, and then there was nothing more to jump to. I think that's what happened there. So the only person that died there was me. It looks like Chen ended up dying as well. It's just an okay trade. I am, of course, like the mid hero, but DK has been prioritizing farm a lot more, and as has the important Juggernaut. Jug carry all the way and stuff. I think this is the moment that I tested to see if Blast worked on neutrals. It does work on buildings. Maybe it wasn't. Blast does work on buildings, but it doesn't actually work on magic immune creeps, unfortunately. So Pugna's almost good at mud golems. He does a lot of right click, though. He is seriously like a major right click hero. Maybe not major, that's overstating things, but compared to most int heroes, he's actually really good at right clicking. Would be kind of fun to do phase on him as well, just because his movement speed is really good, so that means you get more out of the phase boots themselves. Back to farming, guys. So gold difference is now slightly in our favor. We are like kicking ass in experience somehow. I don't really know what they're doing, but they're apparently not farming as fast as us or something. I'm not quite sure. Looks like I think that was his hand at Midas. He must be done with it for now. It's kind of a cool idea though. If you do run out of item slots, you could put your Midas on a courier and just bring it back every time the cooldown's up. And we're gonna find some neutrals, which we might want to kill. Put my Nether Ward down. Gotta be careful. I don't want the neutrals to right click it. But luckily for me, they're not going to. And we're gonna lose Spear Pricker almost immediately, so. Run away. I want to put my positioning on the high ground just in case they end up coming. We didn't really want to engage on this because we already lost Spirit Breaker, so I'm just going to sit back a bit. I don't know if we anticipated them Roshaning here or not, though. Oh yeah, we did have something in there. I don't know what's giving us vision there, but something. Is it the Treants? I have no idea why, but we can see that. Maybe it was a Sunstrike. Must have been a Sunstrike. So, now the fun part is I get to put the Nether Ward on the high ground, probably. Spot out the... I wanted to kill these immediately so that they can't kill my Nether Ward. It looks like we won the fight pretty easily. I assume my Nether Ward did a lot of damage there. I don't know. I dropped it as Zeus did his combo. That was another situation where I maybe shouldn't have decrept, because I decrept the Zeus, and then he Omni-slashed it because he wanted to kill the Zeus. So maybe I shouldn't have decrept. Maybe I should just blast drained on him. I did kill him a bit faster with my drain as a result, like 40% more, but him just getting right-clicked a few times might have done more. So I think Zeus's positioning there wasn't very good. He definitely wasn't expecting us to go that way, I think. I don't even know if he has any like escape items. He actually just has a Ghost Scepter and Aghanims, which I think he really needs a Force this game. A Force wouldn't be bad, especially against like a Treant, for example. If you get rooted, you're just gonna get crapped on. So, I don't know. Perhaps he shouldn't have gone that build. It's hard to say. But I did reflect a lot of damage with Nether Ward. He definitely at least did a Lightning Bolt through my Nether Ward and took a bunch of damage that way. So, you almost kind of need a BKB as well against a Pugna, because it does stop the Nether Ward. That's one way to stop it. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. So this is basically how I'm adjusting my Nether Ward now. Again, doing a bunch of damage to the Zeus.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
That healing ward is really useful.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Blast whiffs on the tower, but I get the creeps. And with the dead Chen, I'm gonna put the ward down again. But yeah, I want to put this in the middle of my allies. That way, if the bats come in, I can easily, we can hopefully focus them.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Bats come from the back, they kill the ward again. Good play. Drop the blast again to get the creep stuck. So we're gonna back off for a bit here. Should be able to escape the fight, and we're able to take the middle racks, which is pretty good. Again, our pushing power is pretty strong. Invoker with Nether Blast is really great. Just because he can drop Forge Spirits, they can tank the towers a bit, and then I can just run in and drop another blast for major damage. I was able to snipe the barracks there, which kind of prevents them from denying, among other things. And as usual, as you're running to go somewhere, it's pretty good to just grab creeps. No, alright, Treant's gonna die. Doesn't look very good for him either. The tree armor is great. I guess he's given up. Okay. I ended up buying an ultimate orb here because I was going for sheep and I felt like I wanted more survivability. I could have grabbed like the mystic staff first or something, but usually it's a lot safer, especially on Pugna, who already has huge int, to just go safe and buy the orb first for the HP. You definitely need HP a lot more than anything else. DK miscuing here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Gotta try really hard to kill the Nether Ward. And looks like we got all the kills. So now we're kind of steamrolling them in team fights. Like, the only person that really has magic immunity on their team is the Zeus. I'm sorry, the Lifestealer. Nobody else is making a BKB, and we keep getting the ward down before they can kill it. And Zeus doesn't really know what to do. He's like, okay, the ward's down, I guess I'm just going to blow everything and die from it. And that's basically what happens. Like, Zeus needs to stay alive to get at least like 1 or 2 cycles of nukes out before he becomes useful. But if he keeps running out after one cycle, if he just does 1 cycle and then he dies, he's not really accomplishing that much, even with a negative scepter. Like, getting multiple bolts down really makes a big difference. And it looks like he's actually got a refresher. I'm sorry, who's got the refresher? I think it's the... Oh yeah, the Prophet. The Prophet is a terrible build. I forgot about this. He went eggs, refresher, and he's going towards a Necro 3. It's not recommended at all. It does increase the damage that your Wrath of Nature does, so his idea is basically... He waits till Zeus is about to ult. Zeus ulties, Prophet ulties twice, and then the ulti will hit everybody twice, which will do a lot of magic damage to everybody. But the downside is that the first wave is most likely going to clear most of the creeps, so it won't be able to accelerate as much as you think it will. At least that's my theory crafting. I just don't think it's going to be very good. I think it's going to be tough to make kills with it, or at least have it do good amounts of damage. If he just went for like a Shadow Blade or a Sheep Stick or something, I'm sure he'd be doing a lot better in terms of team fight contribution. But right now, all he can basically do is farm and farm and farm, and it's really not very good. It's not a very good build. Looks like Visage also has picked up an Aghanims, which means killing the birds before they kill our ward is going to be a lot harder. I should have sheep money now. It's a little slow. My farm is okay, but it's not amazing. If I would have snowballed a little bit more on the mid lane, then I'm sure I could have done better. But obviously I didn't have a bottle or anything like that for a while, so that slowed me down a bit. So I'll buy the components. Here comes my sheep, and I should be able to shift mid. So I get a whole 10 extra mana per second right now from this. So 15 mana per second. That means every 10 seconds I can cast another blast. So good. You see it bashed on her Spirit Breaker. Fortunately for me, I'm a bit late here. But grabbing the sheep is so good, because I've got HP regen from mech, I've got mana regen from side. This basically means I never actually have to go back to base. I really don't. There's a Shen creep, of course. It's been taken from us. It's one of the melee ones, and it has bonus damage because of the fact that... Where did I see a hero? Oh yeah, I saw the bats. I was like, do I want to kill the bats? See, when you have a double damage, you can 2-shot birds, and it's a wonderful thing. I decided I want the 3rd bat.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's a big AoE, actually. Unfortunately, I did not get quick close enough to it. It's only got 2, but whatever, I got 200 gold. I kind of wasted the haste in the DD, or at least I wasted the haste a bit, but whatever. I got 200 gold out of it, and that's going to put the... What's his cooldown now? 54 seconds, he's only got 1 bat until then, so that's not too bad. Just killing the bats every time you can is a huge advantage to your team. Don't be afraid to do this. Let's look at some other stats if you guys are curious. There's KDA for the game. Looks like DK is doing the best. Net worth, I am at 5th. A little bit behind your jug. EXP per minute, I'm 3rd best because we're winning team fights and stuff. And GPM at 394. So, not too bad. Alright, so now that I have sheep finished, grabbing an armor item or a ghost scepter would be pretty good, or just an HP item wouldn't be bad. I have seen some Pugnas do something like a heart just because it gives you 1000 HP. You really can't underestimate how much damage 1000, or how much survivability 1000 HP gives you. It's a huge difference. I really do like having all this attack speed though, it's wonderful. Farm rate on Pugna is amazing. And this is the moment where I looked at my HP and MP regen, I was just like, damn guys, I never have to use my bottle ever again. I did end up selling my bottle here. Or it's sold already, at least. Pick up some TPs. Can even clear neutrals relatively fast. There's another Chen creep over here. He's kind of just using those for scouting right now, and I don't think this is a good choice. You're better off just using them to farm, honestly. If you just grab like 2 good farming creeps or 3 good farming creeps, you could clear jungle camps a lot faster, I think. I think our team has been doing a lot better job of actually clearing the jungles. Their team has not really. So I believe we're now pushing Spirit Breakers in our jungle. Most of their team is secretly top. TK quite farmed here. He's got a Shadow Blade, a Shivas and Aghanims, I believe. And a sheep. He's a bit farmed.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom
I got another tower, guys. At this point, we should be able to just force barracks. I don't think I was paying too much attention to the map, because I seem to remember there was a moment in this game where I was slightly worried that we were going to lose barracks.
Dire's structures are fortified.
We did lose barracks. I don't remember.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Bats come in here.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top barracks are under attack. Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Again, I just kind of wanted to kill the bats here. If we kill these, they'll be on cooldown for a very long time. Oh, fuck that one up. Do you guys like my decrep? Do you like it? Such a bad decrep. Again, same situation, basically. I dropped the decrepify. Completely unnecessary. Able to keep DK alive here. And again, I decrep the Visage. Kill one more bat. 2 more bats. At this point, I basically just decided I need to stop decrepping. It's really not worth it if you have like a Spirit Breaker, a Life Stealer, or a Spirit Breaker Chug. So many times where I just wasted decrep. Like, he got Diffusal Bladed and then I decrep and blasted him. I mean, I'm still killing a lot of these heroes, but you have to be very careful when you play Pugna that you don't screw up your allies. It's like one of the most frustrating things ever when you're trying to focus somebody, and the Pugna's like, I'm gonna decrep him for 3 seconds so I can do a bonus 100 damage with my Nether Blast. It's like, why would you bother? It really doesn't do enough. If you're 1v1ing them or something and nobody else is targeting them, then it's fine, but there we go. Nether Blast does not work on golems. This is better doing damage to towers. Just towers. So we did end up losing a Rax there, but we traded a Rax for a Rax, and when we're 2 Raxes ahead, this isn't the worst thing. And actually, the best part about this is that we Rax the perfect lanes. Our mid lane is going to push against theirs, our bot lane is going to push against theirs, and top lane, our lane is not pushing, our lane is getting pushed. But that means that all we have to do is go top and push naturally. We're against the Prophet, but having 2 Raxes up on them makes a huge difference, because we just don't have to worry about those lanes anymore, basically. We can all just go top, all the other lanes are going to push without Nature's Prophet, or whatever other hero pushing them, and we should be able to take the 3rd Rax. So once we take the 3rd Rax, the game should end. So again, I'm able to take the neutrals out. The benefit of Pugna's huge attack damage. And I have like a ridiculous amount of money. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to buy here. I was like, do I buy a Shiva's Guard? And then I was like, Invoker already has one. Do I really need a Shiva's Guard? And I was like, do I buy a Orchid? Like, I don't really need an Orchid that bad. Do I get a Ghost Scepter? Didn't really need that bad. So I decided on a Desolator, which might confuse you. You might be like, oh, you're totally trolling around here. But the reason I got the Desolator is basically to be able to kill the Lifestealer slightly faster. And maybe it doesn't have to be me doing the killing below or anything, but just being able to apply a -7 armor on whoever I'm attacking is actually good. My attack speed is already okay. I'm gonna find a Lifestealer here. He ends up TPing, and we have no way to stop this without Overgrowth or Spirit Breaker ulti. I have no way to stop it, at least. It's a little blocked here by the Forge Spirits. And damn, it just looks awesome to have a Desolator, guys. Come on. But yeah, Pugna actually transitions okay into a right clicker. Kind of similar to what Quap works with. His base damage is good. We've got a Desolator, we have an AC, so we have a ton of minus armor now. We've also got the Forge Spirits, so I figured this would be the best pickup. I don't think we should be pushing mid right or bottom. We should actually be going top for sure. I don't know why we're bot. Especially because the tier 2 tower is still up, which means that we're unable to backdoor or essentially go from bot to this top rack. So I think this is a mistake. We probably should be top instead. In fact, there's a lot of creeps back in the base. Now Spirit Break can go back and then he can immediately dodge, so this isn't the worst thing ever, but it would make a lot more sense for us to just go top slowly. Take it. We should also have a gem probably, but that dies really fast. We're able to take that, and then maybe we can go somewhere else. Oh yeah, the Desolator's also going to be really good towards taking out Visage Bats as well, so I can aim for those. Visage Bats will have some trouble. So we'll TP back now. I don't want to push too hard on the Lifestealer here. Always happy to take those for the extra 100 gold. And I should have buyback now if I really need it here. Alright, looks like we have a gem. Nice, they're killing bats again. Does he have his ulti? He's actually on quite a bit of cooldown here. He hasn't gotten any new items this game, just Aghanims. So that's gotta hurt quite a bit to lose your bats. I appear to be all tabbed or something. So we'll get the push going here. I thought I saw a creep up here somewhere, but I wasn't sure where it went. Oh, that's pretty funny. I went to go look for it because I was like, I swear I saw something go up here. He actually did go hide. I don't know what that's going to accomplish at all. It's literally just a... Oh, he's TPing into it. Okay, that's why he put it over there. So they could boots of travel to it if they wanted to, if they wanted to backdoor. That's pretty smart. I did go look for it. I didn't find it, though. Slightly out-juked by a creep, guys. I think the Prophet did eventually decide against it. But we can just push top now. Just do a push top, and the other lanes should be fairly safe. I mean, they could even get up to like here before they push back, I think. We even have a bat that might contest our courier, but our courier looks like it's okay. 3 minutes left on Aegis. Who's got that? Oh, it's the Invoker has it. I actually do more right-click damage than Invoker does, though I obviously attack a lot slower. So I saw the bat and I was like, oh, it must have just been the bat. That's what I thought at that point.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That's how fast towers die late game.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
So ward goes down. I did let them kill the ward again, which is a mistake. I should have decrept the ward, definitely.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I got cleaned out really fast. I did see a push coming bot, so I decided to defend this with my buyback. I definitely got nuked down though. That's basically all that happened. I died to the nukes. Didn't really know how the fight was going. Zeus ulti blew me up though. Maybe I should have grabbed a heart, maybe I should have grabbed a pipe, who knows. Pipe actually would have been pretty good this game, instead of the Desolator. If I wanted more survivability, I wouldn't have died there. I can kill the bats faster with these, but...
Unstoppable.
At this point I was like, okay, there's nothing for me to do here. Decided to show up. And then I didn't even really need to be here. So, a lot of buybacks actually.
Lost my way between the worlds.
And healing ward's so good.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack. Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
I should really drop the Nether Ward. It's a good skill. I've been talking about how good it is all game. I couldn't see him in there. I tried to force staff to break the trees, but I messed it up, unfortunately.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
That's why that
The
didn't work.
Dire now have mega creeps.
On Spear Breaker. So at this point we're able to snowball pretty hard. I think our gold advantage must have been big. Yeah, and things did eventually come back. We started getting all the kills, then there was no return kills, so... Look how much... He just took 590 damage. Like, the guy took so much damage. He took 590 damage for a 600 cost nuke. So basically, you're taking pure damage for every mana that you spend, is what the ward does. It is so powerful against some heroes. Like, nothing else that I can do at that point in the game is going to do more than a 600 damage nuke, basically. Like, that's a Dagon. Dagon is 600 damage, if I'm not mistaken. So, nukes like that are huge. Nether Ward is really big. Pugna is actually a pretty good hero. He just pretty much never played right now at the high levels. Nobody picks him in scrims, and nobody picks him in pubs either. But he is kind of fun to play. He's a bit limited, but you can do some cool stuff with decrep. Grabbing an Aghanim Scepter can also make some pretty fun games sometimes, but largely he's a lot better as just for Nether Ward. Aim for the Nether Ward. If you have mana casting heroes, he's good counters towards them. Queen of Pain, for example, can be countered by Nether Ward, things like that. So try him out sometime. Pugna's pretty fun. I know I haven't made a Pugna video in a really long time, so there you go. Replay commentary of Pugna. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Oh yeah, announcements about shirts, I guess. While we're here, and I have a soapbox. North American shirts are completely sold out right now. The EU shirts are almost sold out. I think the larges, or sorry, yeah, the larges are sold out. The double XLs are sold out. So there's only small, mediums, and extra larges, I believe, that are left over in the EU store. We are going to be working on reprinting the North American ones. I talked to the shirt guy at Team Liquid. He said he would put an order in on Monday, and it would take about 10 days after that until the next batch is ready. So we're looking at about 2 weeks until you guys can purchase shirts again, the yellow Everybody's Support shirts from the North American store. And we're also going forward with the Medic Bear shirts, I believe. He said he wasn't really happy with the design when it first came up because some of the things with the original art were kind of hard to print. Basically, it was like glowy effects and like little things that'll be tough to print correctly or make it look nice. So we modified the art a little bit, and it should be good to print now. So he said he was pretty happy with it. So I'm pretty sure we're going ahead with the Medic Bear shirts. And obviously, whenever the reprints go through and the other shirts come out, I will obviously make a video about it so you guys can be informed. And also, if you want more updates like that, the best place to follow is Facebook or Twitter, because I usually talk about shirt stuff there. So either keep an eye out on the videos or check my Facebook or Twitter. And unfortunately, I would like to print more shirts, but I think we're just going to do another 100 for North America. So I think it'll probably sell out pretty fast again. So make sure you guys keep an eye on the social media. Or just check my channel daily for the rest of your life. That way you can constantly be aware about when you can purchase them. But we'll probably keep reprinting them. Even if they get sold out again, it'll just be a little bit more, maybe another 2 weeks or 3 weeks until we can print new ones. So even if you guys don't get the first batch, you can maybe grab them later. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.